Hello guys, welcome back for Super Hang-On Sunday Me LT. So let's get straight into Senior 14 stage. What can we do today? And of course, as always, going to be talking about a few different topics today. Hopefully my audio and sound will all be in sync as we roll on, but who knows. This old video game recording nonsense, it's just the way it goes. Oh my crap, this is a perfect start to today. Normally at this point I'd be like, screw it, I'm starting over. No, I'm just going to roll on. That's not my test run. Maybe I need to start a new principle, you know. Maybe I need to go with like, okay, first run test and then 3 actual runs. So we do like 4 each week and change my rules as I'm entitled to do. Anyway, so a few topics for today. First up, Apocalypse. Apocalypse Now. Not Apocalypse Now, although that is an awesome film. No, I think I mentioned last week, I think I said about this, and the only reason I remembered that I said about this was Tiaman, who comments on my videos, and he said, looking forward to talking about the apocalypse. I saw that today. And, yeah, so I think I must have mentioned, I know what I was probably thinking about at the time. Whoa, how in the crap did we ever miss that? I think what I was talking about was something that bugs me, and I obviously didn't have enough time to talk about it last time. Oh crap, stupid mistake. Luckily we're on a corner, so I didn't lose too much time. Yeah, talking about apocalypses in movies and games. And it always kind of bugs me that in movies especially, but TV series, I suppose, there's a few TV series which have kind of apocalypse things. They are notoriously bad. We're having so much luck today right here. They're notoriously bad for actually realistically representing things. Now this is probably for a variety of reasons. Probably the most primary one is that they want to kind of further their storyline, and if they did it 100% realistically, it wouldn't actually be an enjoyable story. So, you know, fair enough, but put a pin in that. There's many things which are never featured or sort of never really broached in these kind of apocalypse things. It's just kind of like, oh, and happy times for us. Okay, take for example the apocalyptically bad... Oh my god, I've just had a revelation as well. Anyway, the apocalypse... I'll tell you why. I just realised that Gus Fring from Breaking Bad actually appeared in the series that I'm thinking of, which was shockingly bad. What the hell was it even called? Because it was so bad I didn't pay enough attention to remember. Anyway, it's that series that was quite recent, where it's set in the US. It's a US series where all the power goes out. I feel like I should remember it, but really I didn't. I watched the first 2 episodes, and let me tell you, probably one of the worst things I've seen in a while. Mainly because it was just so stupid. Oh god, it was just... Okay, I won't go on to that because that is an entire other thing. But here's the deal, right? So it's kind of basically an apocalypse situation. Massive disaster of some description causes a fundamental change in the way everybody lives in the world. Okay, but other things could cause this as well. It could be a plague. It could be, I don't know, monetary. Bad crash. This has been a bad run. This is a good test run. It could 3, 2, through on 2 seconds. Okay, that still gives us a little bit of leeway. Anyway, so for some description, there's some major... Oh man, what's going on today? This is not good. Not a good starting sound actually. There's some fundamental things that always are overlooked, right? And that is that, you know, when there's no people around, there are some things and services that are built up into the world which will have a massive impact if they are left unattended. The biggest primary one is nuclear power. Nuclear power, whilst it does have some safety backups, if left for an extended period of time with perhaps no power of its own to sort of run it, will cause devastating problems, and not just for the local area but wider than that. The reason being is that most nuclear power stations, when they have the uranium rods that they use to sort of to power and produce the energy from the power plant, the rods, after they are spent, go into a process of, sort of not decontamination but sort of decommission. They get sort of put into processing, and they go through many stages. Right, I can't remember. I haven't got it. I'm playing this, so I don't have details to hand. So you'll just have to take sort of what I say with a pinch of salt, because it's not really 100% accurate. But it just gives you the gist, just gives you the idea of what happens. So they basically take the rods once they've been used and place them into these kind of temporary storage containers, which are full of water. They push them deep down into the water, and basically keep them there, and it keeps them stable, stops them from overheating, and then they're basically kept cool. They're kept cool by the water being cycled, so that it doesn't sort of overheat, because the rods, obviously uranium rods, produce a massive amount of heat. That's why they're used in the power plants, because that's what they do. They produce heat which produces the steam and then turns turbines. Right. So that's basically how they work. But the rods themselves, as I say, are kept in these containers. Now, while there is power available, the water is cycled, and that prevents them from overheating and basically becoming a big problem. But if you have no power, or there's no one to attend to ensure that power is getting to those things, basically there will be backup systems. There's usually a kind of backup generator system or a battery system of some kind, so that if there is a massive power failure across the grid, then we don't immediately have a problem. Usually it'll last for a while. So if there are no people around, maybe for a few weeks, maybe even a month, it may actually be fine. But once you've gone past that point, what will start to happen is this water, the rods, it'll overheat. The rods will burn away that water by turning it to steam, and the water will just completely disappear. At that point, those rods are going to basically overheat, and they're going to start burning, and they're just going to burn and burn and burn and burn. And whilst they're burning, they're going to produce tons of radioactive sort of material, which will just be produced into the air, the surrounding environment, and just up into the atmosphere. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Now imagine every nuclear power station on Earth doing exactly the same thing. You can see that this is going to be quite an issue. It's going to be very, very, very bad. And who knows the quantity, and it's going to go into our atmosphere. It'll be all around the Earth. So for the sake of a few workers, it's going to cause an epic problem. And that is something that these apocalypse situation TV dramas never seems to address. It's a pretty sort of strong thing, but there's other things as well, like our sewage processing systems. Sewage processing, keeps all of that in check, all the waste from our cities, all around the world, and it basically, keeps everything in check. By the way, you may have noticed I'm kind of chatting too much on this drive run as well, not having such... This is a chat episode today, I think I'm going to go and not so much a race episode. We're still 3 or 4, okay, I can handle it. Next run, I promise, I'm going to try and do better. But anyway, yeah, this is the waste systems as well. And without people to run those, again in a sort of apocalypse situation, what's going to happen? All of those are going to fail, and all of that kind of waste which is being managed and treated will probably sort of cause, back up, and maybe sort of go into water systems, tributaries, rivers, okay? That's basically producing a ton of ammonia. Ammonia is extremely poisonous to wildlife in the rivers and other things in general, and that's probably... Oh, let me back on the road, guys. Just total wipeout of it. Just blank this. This is a chatty bit. Okay, next one I'm going to try. But yeah, all that ammonia goes into the rivers. It's going to kill tons of wildlife. Big effect on the ecosystem. Big effect on the surrounding environment. So again, like a massive, massive effect. And all of these things are pretty interesting, but they never get touched on in these sort of drama shows, TV things. And just kind of, it frustrates me because they're kind of very, they're kind of these huge elephants in the room. And these TV shows are kind of like, that would be kind of annoying because we'd have to like try and, show how things didn't really work. They like to imagine, okay, that it's just kind of like real life, but without a lot of people. They just kind of, the TV shows that they do these kind of apocalypse things, it's basically, they're just kind of like, so life, it'll basically be just as it is right now, but with like less stuff and less people, and then let's make a show about that. That's basically how they are. So they don't think about the logistics or the actual details of what would happen. They don't think it through in any kind of significant way. They literally just kind of be like, oh, this would be cool, wouldn't it? Imagine if people had to like live in a town and they were all like oldie worldy and they had to like make things up, and you know, what if they like didn't have some things that we do now, and ooh, wouldn't that be interesting? And it's kind of like that. It's like, for Christ's sake, if they want to make a program like that, they could, you know, come up with a much more interesting concept, seriously. And I think as well, like, if they made a program where it showed, you know, how devastating an impact the things that we do would have, maybe that would actually kind of resonate. Maybe it'd actually make people think a little bit about some of the things that we have in the world, and maybe, you know, maybe they're not such a good idea. So it's kind of irritating to me that they kind of brush these things aside and be like, you know, that's too difficult. Let's just focus on the happy little things that kind of be, you know. Yeah, so anyway, so that's like a bit of a bugbear for me, really. I kind of, it grates on me, but I'm kind of finicky about things like that. It's sort of, you know, I like details and I like them to be kind of correct. Like space films, science fiction films, that really pisses me off. The fact that in space films there's very few where they have like a spaceship from a view from the outside or whatever, and there's very few which actually, you know, show it with no sound. That was one thing that was so fantastic about 2001 Space Odyssey, was that whenever they had external shots of the ship or whatever, they would always have no sound, unless of course it was a bit of music, but they had no ship sounds outside. And the reason being, well, there is no sound in space. It's very, very obvious, which really, oh damn, I thought I was doing okay there. So it really, that's super annoying as well. There's no sound because there's no air, so there's no way for sound to travel. So it's really stupid. Whenever you see a spaceship in a film or whatever, and film, and it has like big engine noises, you know, it's making sound. Crap. Okay, you wouldn't have any of that. I actually think it's more dramatic to have no sound. Interestingly, Akira, some people may remember the 1980s anime film Akira, fantastic. Did it on my Cinema Spotlight series a while back. Akira, when Tetsuo flies up into space to destroy the Sol satellite. Okay, he stands on it and uses his powers to destroy the satellite, and the whole thing blows up. No sound, total silence, and the impact of like seeing that for yourself, like with no sound, is much more profound than if they just had a bit of an explosion, because it gives you that impression that they're actually in space. You sort of, you know, so it just kind of, it sits better with me. Anyway, so that's another thing that annoys me. I'm talking about sort of stupid space things as well. Star Trek, I love Star Trek. Okay, it's fun, you know, whatever. But it sucks. It's like so bad in terms of like scientific accuracy. It's so bad. I mean, I know all science fiction has like made up fictional elements, okay? But at the same time, the whole point about science fiction is that it's always supposed to kind of have like a bit of a grounding in reality. So that's what kind of makes it sort of identifiable, and you kind of go, yeah, I could understand that working. You know, there's going to be some logic there. Star Trek kind of throws all that out of the window. To the point at which it made me laugh so much. Because I'm super, you know, because I'm super cool. I have like a couple of films. We're going to get to the next boat. Okay, we get to the beach, but not to the checkpoint. Or do we get to the checkpoint? No, we don't get to the checkpoint. Okay, next one. We've got 2 more runs to do. Is it 2 or is it 3? I reckon 2. Okay, here we go. So in my DVD set, Star Trek, it's the new ones, Next Generation films, so it's only a couple. But anyway, this is bonus CD. And the bonus CD, as often bonus CDs do, has interviews and blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not the kind of person to kind of sit down and watch bonus DVDs because I don't generally enjoy them that much, so I find them quite kind of tedious. Sometimes they're interesting. Like, for example, Prometheus. The cut scenes from Prometheus was super interesting because I found that they cut out all the things that made the film make a lot more sense, which really irritated me. That often is the case with cutscenes. They have to cut some time out, so they decide to cut all the scenes which actually make films make sense or make them like much better. And you watch the cutscenes and you're like, why would you cut that? It makes so much sense. It's so much better. Prometheus, if you haven't seen the cutscenes of that, you need to go look it up on YouTube, because seriously, it's so aggravating that they cut some of these scenes out. Anyway, that's another thing though. So getting back to Star Trek. I think I was like tidying up one day, like I was doing house chores, and I wanted something for like background noise, and I'd been watching one of these films, and then I was sort of looking at the other disc that I had there, and I was like, oh, you know, extras and stuff. Okay, I'll throw this on whilst I'm like doing house chores, and you know, maybe it'll be kind of some interesting bits and pieces that I'll listen to, you know. Anyway, so this thing is on and it's playing, and there's different sort of people talking about the things in the films and so on and so on. Anyway, they get to some of the designers for the ships. This is awesome. They get to some of the designers for the ships, you know, in the films, and there's the Enterprise. And this designer, okay, the concept designer, and he's going like, yeah, the Enterprise E, or whatever it is, I don't know, the Enterprise E, and it's like this kind of slightly flashier one that they only use one time in one film or something. And anyway, he's going like, yeah, you can see how we design nacelles or whatever, the nacelles. He's like, you can see how we design this and the ship. We designed it to be more aerodynamic so that, you know, it could fly really well and blah blah blah. Dude, it's in space. You can't make it aerodynamic in space. There's no air. This guy's a concept designer for Star Trek, and he's going on about the ship being aerodynamic. It's in space. It can't be aerodynamic. It just made me, it just kind of epitomised. It was a fantastic kind of analogy, like metaphor, for everything about Star Trek. It's kind of like, there's this kind of like faux logic with it, where it's kind of like, they make it sound like it's been thought about in the context of how things would actually work. But in reality, it's just crap. And it's just, there's so many things with that. I mean, there's loads of comedy with it. You know, the whole kind of, yeah, let's send all our officers down on away missions every single time. Seriously? Yeah, let's take all of the most important people on the ship and send them to, like, you know, something that we have zero information about how dangerous it is. That's like an epic plan. I would like to see one episode of Star Trek. Maybe it's one of these episodes where like everybody dies and they all come back again. Because doesn't that annoy you as well? So I'll finish what I was going to say first. Yeah, I would love to see an episode where like all the officers go down on the you know, planet or whatever. They all get killed, and then we see like some kind of unknown actors have to take over the ship just for like one episode, because it would just be funny to see that. I'd love it. But it, oh, I'm going to crash. I kind of saw that coming and I couldn't be bothered to brake. I was like, whatever. Okay, yeah, so things that were annoying. Oh, what was I going to say now? Oh, okay, yeah, the next one. Okay, this is not relevant necessarily to Star Trek, but just in general, TV shows, right? They have TV shows have a habit of, obviously, they have actors employed on a kind of contract basis for sort of the series. So therefore, like when you have some main characters established, you all pretty much know there is almost 99% certainty that those characters will never die or disappear for the series. So it's really irritating. We're not going to get through to the beach again. We're not going to make it. God damn it. Come on. No, we're not going to make it. Balls. Okay, last run after this. Let's see if we can actually get through the beach. Come on, let me start. There we go. Right, last one. Yeah, so there's pretty much like, you know, no chance of these characters dying at all. Star Trek's notoriously bad for this, to be honest, because they do have a habit of like doing episodes where characters die, and you're supposed to feel like all oh no, oh my god, they died, oh man, like how is this series? Oh, that's so bad. You know, they were such a great character, and oh no, they've died. Oh my god! And then of course they always come back to life, and then you're like, oh, okay, so you're just like tricking me. You're just basically lying to me about that character. Awesome. Now I know there's some exceptions, like what was that? Tasha Yar in Star Trek, and she obviously very kind of, you know, very sort of you know, well known. She died. Oh my god, she died in a series. So poignant, you know, so poignant. Seriously, for a start off, right, if anybody actually could, okay, I'm just kind of, I'm going full geek here. Tasha Yar in Star Trek. What an irritating character she was. Oh my god. so patronising and really, really just like abrasive. You know, you're just like, oh man, you can just imagine like never being able to have like a casual conversation with her because she was so full on all the time. Anyway, so yeah, seriously, not at all disappointed that she went out of that show. But anyway, the point is, so often there's a few times where you will actually have characters die, like for real, but so infrequently. It's like, you know, like it's like 5% of the time. The rest of the time, it's just like fake deaths to kind of make that episode mildly more interesting than it normally would be. And most of the time, it just serves to kind of make you be like, yeah, they died, whatever. You know, because you know they're going to be back at the end of the episode. And sometimes they'll do like a 2-part, and it's like, oh, what's going to happen? And it's like, I don't know, you're going to bring them back in the next episode. That's why you did it as 2 parts. And it's just like, come on, try a bit harder, you know, or be more brutal. Why don't TV shows take more like interesting risks? Why don't they like kill off characters halfway through? You know, why don't they take characters on and say like, okay, right, you know, the writers put it in there like, okay, we're going to take you on, but like for a half contract period, so that, you know, you as viewers are totally thrown. You know, whoa, a main character died and they're totally out of the show? What the hell? You know, they should do that more. And again, there are some shows that have that as an exception for sure, but it's just not the majority of the time. And I just would like to see these kind of shows take a few more risks and push the boundaries a little bit more, sort of push people, you know, what they're expecting sort of from a show, and it just kind of grates on me. Aerodynamic spaceship, seriously. So awesome. Have you noticed as well, right? This whole episode is turning into a rant on Star Trek now. I should have really thought about something else. I should probably round up talking about channels and stuff, because yeah, okay, I'll come back to it another day. All I was going to say was like, isn't it funny how they always fight on like horizontal planes? And again, it's like they're in space. It's not like Babylon 5 where they can kind of, you know, the spaceships actually fly like they would in space, where they're kind of coming out sort of from above and below and all different directions. Whereas in Star Trek, they just fly like as if they're on the level. You know, they just stay on a horizontal plane. I think when they came up with that show as well, it's funny because in Star Trek, they refer to everything with naval terminology. Like everything's like, you know, it's off the port and blah, blah, blah. And they all do this stuff. And it's all kind of like naval themed. But I'm pretty sure that like NASA and stuff, they all use Air Force designations. So it's actually not naval at all. It's all sort of Air Force. And that's what they should actually be doing. But Star Trek, for some reason, is obsessed with the Navy. And they're, oh yeah, it's just like boats, but in space. What? Anyway. Okay, so the channels. So, Tomb Raider. I posted up a new Tomb Raider video for you guys. I've got some more to come. I'm going to try and find some time, but Battlefield 4 is coming up extremely quickly, and I'm kind of concerned by it. It's kind of creeping up on me without me even realising it. So, oh, we got into beach, by the way. How about that? I'm literally on autopilot. I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing right here. I'm just talking, and the bike is just doing my... It's funny when I get into this kind of zone like this, I don't even look at what's happening. My brain is just sort of doing this automatic for me. I'm not even really sort of reacting. Love that corner. Lost so much speed there. Sucks. But yes. Where was I get other channels? Through the next checkpoint as well. This always happens on our last lap. Have you noticed this? Always on the last lap I start actually doing well, and I'll get to kind of like nearly where I want to be and then not make it. Anyway, whatever. C'est la vie. Now I'm starting to overthink it. I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm actually sort of doing okay. Maybe I need to start thinking about what I'm going to do. Okay, got a big chicane right here. Oh my god. Yeah, so I really want to finish Tomb Raider. I actually realised that I've still got about 50% of it to play, which is kind of intimidating for me. I think that's probably one of the main reasons I feel slightly intimidated by it. But I am going to push through on that. I am going to try and find some time. It's just that in the next week or two, my time is limited just because of my schedule. It's going to be kind of tricky to find any sort of significant days to do that. But I'm going to sort of push on with it. It's going to get done. I started Doom BFG edition, sort of Doom 3, on my other channel for Fridays, replacing Far Cry Fridays, so that's exciting. I hope people are going to enjoy that. I've got to do Riven. Oh crap. That's throwing away our chances. Maybe we'll make it into mountain level. Look, we've got 3 stages to go. If I can get through this stage, which I might do, then we're sort of doing good. Yeah, Riven. Riven is another one. It's one that's got to be completed. Like, literally it has to be completed. The trouble and the reason that's putting me off Riven a little bit is that I've got a very tricky thing to do from the stage I'm at with Riven. And that is certain endings. Like, somebody said to me, Luetin, if you're going to do Riven, you need to post all the endings. Because come on, get through. Yes, okay. They said you've got to post all the endings because there's multiple, like a lot of endings to Riven. It's like 5 or 6, you know, maybe more. I can't remember. Oh, get off. And so yeah, they were like, you got to post all the got to post all the endings for Riven. But in order to do that, it means I'm gonna have to create like multiple saves. I have to do tons of backtracking and stuff. And so it's just been kind of like a bit of a thing in my head where I'm just kind of like, oh really? I've got to do all this backtrack and blah blah blah. So that's the one thing that we're not going to get through this. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Nearly to the last stage. Man, we're so close. So close. I might do one more run. I might do one more focus run. I have a habit of doing this. One more run. One more run. Right, I'm going to do a focus run. I always fail my focus runs. Okay, let's do it. Minimal talking, let's just see if we do it, and then I'll round off the end of today's video after this run. Let's race it up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the chat today on my space theme. Apocalypse in Star Trek. Didn't expect it to go that way actually this week, but there you go. Come on, push it. There we go. I still really want to complete this. I know sometimes, like today, this week, it doesn't seem like it at all. It seems like I don't care anymore, but I do care. I still really want to complete this. If I could complete this, it would be like the biggest achievement for me in a long time. That corner's always so hard, because judging when to spring back up, to fly straight through that chicane, is really tricky. You've seen the amount of times I've kind of popped back up too quick and gone straight through the trees. It's really tricky. Okay, we're doing pretty good. What a difference a little bit of concentration makes, eh? For now, anyway. Who knows? 221, that's astonishing. Lost all my speed. Balls to that. Get off me, yellow biker. Come on, come on, come on. I just wish I had more time. Always I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time for this channel, like you don't even know. Oh, come on. There we go. There's so many games I want to play, and so many things I want to do, and loads of live streaming I want to do. I just don't have the time. Still 220. That's pretty positive. Jeez, man, how did we slip through that? Cactus corner into rock corner. Surprisingly not so painful. Little slip off the road there. Hope that doesn't cost us too much time in the big scale of things. Come on, come on. Damn, I didn't want to clip that guy. Thought we were doing good. Come on, into beach, into beach, into beach. Oh, what the crap was that, Luetin? God damn, seriously. Well, we're still okay. We can still save it coming through on 13. Damn. That really sucks because I would have been up to there on 20. It was a stupid, stupid mistake. Oh, Jesus. I'm starting to lose it now. This is bad. This is real bad. We were doing good and now it's slipping away. We're doing the best we've done and losing it. Love the speed of that corner always. Come on now, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm getting all edgy because I've made a couple of mistakes and I don't want to screw it up. Horrible chicane. Okay, those actual bumping bike has actually kind of saved me a little bit. Right, what are we going through on here? Through on 10. Not the best, not the worst. Come on, bikers, get out of my way. Oh, crap. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Needed to slow down for this corner anyway. Come on, hold it together, 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 hold it together. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, push. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. 7, 6, 5, 4. That's not so good. Lost a lot of time on some of those sections. Damn! Come on, man. That's not fair. Crap. Pushed me into the sign. Always they do that. Now we're on the wire. I don't know if we can do this. Lost so much time, I don't know if we can make it back. It was going way too good, way too good. We had a huge amount of, oh damn, a huge amount of mistakes here. Those two shunts and combined with all the crashes, it's going to cost me too much time. Too much time. See again. Oh damn. Oh god. Well, it was a good try, guys. Good try. We had such an epic first section run. Ah, there you are. See, every time. Man. First section of that was the best we had in such a long time. It was really, really amazing. And then the end just fell apart. Like, I was a bit lucky, a bit stupid coming in onto the beach section, clipped that tree, and I really, really shouldn't have done that. A couple of the others were kind of unlucky. Just, I always feel so much pressure when in like the orange and mountain sections because those roads are a lot faster, they're a lot more difficult to anticipate some of those corners you can't see, there's a lot of like blind hills and stuff, but anyway, some good-ish progress there. I hope you enjoyed today. Thanks guys, see you next time for some more Super Hang On Sunday with me, Luetin. See you next time guys.